I handed him the gun out the backseat of the car.
16-year-old Charleston White took the stand and testified against his friend, Antoine Doolittle, who sat just a few feet from him and listened intently.
A nigga said, we saw the snitch video. So everybody saw it. It's been on the news before. Just because you saw it, you still broke. It don't change nothing. You still broke. I'm still rich. I'm still getting booked. It don't change nothing.
Welcome back to Fame Flux, where the truth behind fame gets exposed. 50 Cent has just set the internet on fire after exposing Charleston White in the most brutal way yet. New footage leaked online allegedly shows Charleston in a closed-door meeting detailing information about known figures in the rap game, prompting many to label him a snitch. And 50 wasted no time jumping into the fire. In a scathing Instagram post, 50 Cent reposted a clip from the footage with the caption, "Told y'all he talks too much. Now the proof is out. Ain't no coming back."
Everybody's seen it before you seen it. It used to be on the news. I keep telling y'all, I made the news before. All what y'all doing, people I already seen.
Back from this. The video appears to show Charleston White naming individuals tied to street activities, offering timelines, and even referencing open investigations.
Doolittle is accused of down 34-year-old Michael Levy of Irving. Levy attempted to stop Doolittle, White, and two other teenagers accused of shoplifting 3 sports jackets and a baseball cap from an Arlington mall in September of 1991.
While he's always been vocal about not being part of the streets, this footage has many questioning whether he crossed the line from commentator to government informant. 50 Cent's post.
Witnesses say Levy pounded on their windshield until the teens threw the jackets out the car window. Then Doolittle supposedly shot him in the back as Levy walked away.
Instantly went viral, with fans flooding the comments calling Charleston the loudest snitch in the game. Charleston has yet to respond publicly, but insiders say he's scrambling behind the scenes.
What did he do?
As calls for accountability grow louder. With 50 Cent applying pressure and footage spreading fast, Charleston White may have finally talked himself into a corner. And this time, the streets are watching closely. 50 Cent is known for his sharp tongue and unfiltered commentary, and once again, he's turned his focus toward controversy. This time, his attention is locked on Charleston White. A recently resurfaced news clip from decades ago shows White testifying in court against a close friend, and now the internet is exploding with opinions. The clip reveals Charleston, then just 16 years old, recounting events that led to the arrest of his own crew. The video quickly gained traction online.
Dreams of my Prince Charming. I found him. And it's hard to believe, but I did. And I believe in fairy tales because he made my dreams come true. And they took that away.
Prompting widespread criticism over what many consider a betrayal. As the backlash mounts, 50 Cent has weighed in, bringing his influence into the conversation and adding fuel to the fire. Despite the mounting scrutiny, Charleston White appears unfazed. He's been brushing off the criticism, laughing in response, and even confronting those who label him a snitch. Rather than apologize or clarify, he seems to be embracing the controversy, using it to amplify his own brand and stand.
My victim, which was a Caucasian man by the name of Michael Levy, I was sentenced to 12 years under Texas juvenile determined sentencing law. My 3 co-defendants, all of them was tried as adults. They were 15 and older. I was 14. So I went into a boys' home that was co-ed with boys and girls. So I spent my entire teenage life from 14 to 21 in the boys' home. When I got out at 21, my record was sealed. So there's no record of me ever being in trouble for that.
So what exactly happened? According to archived footage from 1991, White testified that his friend Antoine Doolittle fatally shot a man named Michael Levy. The incident occurred when Michael tried to stop Charleston and Antoine from stealing winter apparel at a department store. The moment turned tragic when Doolittle pulled out a weapon and ended Michael's life in a sudden act of violence. With this explosive clip now in the public eye, the question is, did Charleston White cross a line by cooperating with authorities? And what does 50 Cent really think about it? Stay tuned as this story continues to unfold. Although Charleston
We saw the snitch video. So everybody saw it. It's been on the news before. Just 'cause you saw it, you still broke. It don't change nothing. You still broke. I'm still rich. I'm still getting booked. It don't change nothing.
White wasn't the one who pulled the trigger. He was far from an innocent bystander in the tragic events of that night. When it came time to testify in court, Charleston didn't hold back. He got on the witness stand and recounted everything, including the post-incident conversation he had with Antoine Doolittle. According to Charleston, he was the one who handed Doolittle the weapon, and Doolittle carried out the act. Even more disturbingly, Charleston claimed that Antoine laughed about
You think they gonna stop booking me? You think they gonna stop interviewing me? You think people gonna stop? Nah, you still gonna be poor, and I'm still gonna be rich and famous.
it later, allegedly boasting, "Look, shot." And what did he do? This wasn't just a moment of street violence, it left deep scars, especially for the family of the victim, Michael Levy. Michael had only been married for 4 days when he was killed. His wife, filled with dreams of a future together, was left to grieve a life stolen before it could even begin. Charleston's cooperation with the authorities didn't stop at Doolittle. He ended up testifying against 3 of his friends, all of whom faced harsh consequences. Charleston himself received a 12-year sentence. However, because he was a juvenile, his record was sealed, allowing him to walk away with a clean slate later in life. Despite the seriousness of the crime and the weight of his testimony, Charleston seems unbothered by the public outrage. The resurfaced clip sparked outrage across social media platforms, where users slammed him for what they deemed
So what? Why you think I told? I don't give a damn. I ain't friends with nobody.
blatant betrayal. Still, Charleston didn't retreat from the spotlight. Instead, he posted his reaction online, appearing relaxed and even defiant. While many are shocked by his lack of remorse, Charleston appears to be leaning into the controversy. Whether this is part of a calculated image or simply his unfiltered response, it's clear that the conversation surrounding his past is far from over, and so is the scrutiny. Instead of apologizing or retreating from the public spotlight, Charleston White chose to confront the backlash head-on, laughing in the face of the critics calling him out. He didn't just defend himself, he went further by mocking the outrage. In his eyes, the controversy wasn't a threat to his reputation. It was just another moment to capitalize on. He made it clear that he believes this wave of criticism won't hurt his career, and he has no intention of slowing down. Charleston doubled.
If it is, I hope it is, I want to snitch. I want to snitch, I want to tell, whatever they call telling, snitching, I want to do it, and I want to make it cool to do it.
Down on his stance during a live stream, joking that while the internet is busy debating his past, he'll be back on stage, laughing about it with a live audience. And when it came to regrets, there were none. He unapologetically stated that he didn't have friends, never cared for the street code, and if given the chance to do it all over again, he absolutely would. In his own words, "Don't give a damn. I ain't friends with nobody." This mindset isn't new for Charleston. He's built his identity around rejecting traditional street values. Rather than staying silent or taking charges for others, he's made it a personal mission to challenge what he sees as toxic loyalty. Charleston often speaks about changing the culture by flipping these long-standing rules, especially the no-snitching ideology, which he believes traps many into cycles of crime and silence. In another interview, he reinforced his beliefs, boldly stating, "We all criminals and crooks. I'm a citizen now. I'm a police ninja. I go vote. I'm literally an election judge. I'm the last ninja to turn in votes on election day. You goddamn right, I'm a police ninja." Charleston emphasized that at 40 years old, he can't imagine doing time at 50 just to protect someone else. For him, self-preservation outweighs street loyalty, and he's more than willing to say it loudly, even if the entire internet disagrees. Charleston White isn't hiding from the heat. In fact, he's welcoming it with open arms. During a recent social media outburst, Charleston made it perfectly clear he'll tell on everybody if it means staying out of jail. And according to him, that's not just talk. He's living by that code daily, without apology or hesitation. The most recent example? Rumors that Charleston was responsible for rapper Brick Baby getting picked up by the feds. Instead of denying the allegation, Charleston did the opposite. He proudly took credit for it. When a video surfaced of Brick flashing stacks of money in Houston and threatening to put a hit on Charleston, White claimed he immediately contacted federal authorities. And he didn't just call the cops. He bragged about having connections in law enforcement, saying that he has friends in the force. This wasn't a one-time incident. Last year, Charleston reportedly called the police on Boozy Badaz after Boozy allegedly threatened a show promoter in Memphis who had booked Charleston for an appearance. While Charleston never confirmed whether he followed through with calling the cops, the internet labeled him a snitch almost immediately. But true to form, he didn't backtrack or try to clean up the narrative. He just let the criticism roll off his back. Charleston isn't here to play by street rules, and he's not afraid to say it. For him, survival and self-preservation take precedence over any street loyalty or unspoken codes. As far as Charleston is concerned, if you're threatening his safety or business, you can expect him to pick up the phone, and he'll do it with pride. Whether it's Brick Baby or Boozy, the message is the same. Say his name, and he might say yours to the authorities. Despite everything that's come out, Charleston White insists he doesn't consider himself a snitch. That may...
Hold on, I'm finna call my son. You got to go to the graveyard to see your son. say, look, this what my kids give me for Father's Day. Gilly, say Gilly, cash money backup singer. Say, cash money backup singer. I'm sorry, backup dancer.
Sound wild to some, especially given all the footage and public admissions, but Charleston has a specific reason behind his claim. According to him, snitching only counts when it's done for personal gain, like in exchange for a deal, a reduced sentence, or monetary reward. In his eyes, telling the truth to protect himself or the community doesn't fall under that label. But the internet isn't buying it. People have been quick to point out the contradiction. They argue that no matter the motive, giving information to law enforcement that results in someone getting locked up is still snitching, period. And that's why Charleston has earned a reputation for being hypocritical, at least in the eyes of many online. Still, Charleston says his actions are about more than just staying out of jail. They're about saving lives. Since his release, he's made an effort to shift gears and serve his community. He's spoken at schools, juvenile centers, and public events, warning young people about the consequences of crime. He shares his own story as a cautionary tale, trying to steer others away from the path he once walked. Charleston even co-founded HYPE, a nonprofit focused on mentoring youth and helping at-risk teens escape the influence of gangs and street culture. He's advocated for unconventional tactics, like encouraging kids to report criminal behavior, not for rewards, but to escape dangerous environments. At one point, Charleston even floated the idea of starting a snitching program for youth, built to teach kids how to safely come forward with information if it means saving their lives or someone else's. But while his mission may seem noble on paper, it's been met with skepticism. Critics say Charleston's shock tactics and aggressive tone often overshadow his intended message. In short, Charleston White believes he's not a rat. He's a reformer. But for many watching, the lines between those roles remain blurry. Things took a dark and unexpected turn when Gilly the Kid weighed in on Charleston White's controversial past and his repeated justification for snitching. Gilly didn't hold back. In a post on X, he called Charleston a throwback rat, saying, "Can't beef with no man that's been ratting since the 90s." The comment wasn't just an insult. It was a direct challenge to Charleston's self-styled image as a truth teller. But instead of brushing it off or responding with logic, Charleston White went scorched earth. He fired back with an Instagram post so ruthless, it left many stunned. In response to a private DM where Gilly called him a rat, Charleston wrote, "May your son rest in piss and the killer be forgiven by God and live a long life of redemption." This was in reference to the tragic passing of Gilly's son, who lost his life in a fatal shooting. Charleston didn't stop there. He shared a video of himself mocking Gilly and Wallow, describing in grotesque detail how they cried after the tragedy. "You got a dead son and you talking about snitching?" he ranted on camera. "Pow! That man shot your son in the head. I remember how you and Wallow was crying. My son got killed. You was crying." The video went viral, and not in a good way. Across social media platforms, viewers condemned Charleston for taking things too far. Criticism poured in from fans, industry insiders, and even some former supporters. Many said it crossed a moral line, especially mocking someone's deceased child, something even the most hardened rivals in hip-hop often avoid. What Charleston claimed to be part of his law-abiding citizen persona now looked more like weaponized disrespect. By invoking the deepest pain in Gilly's life, Charleston didn't just clap back. He ignited a firestorm that further blurred the lines between advocacy, trolling, and cruelty. And now, this feud is no longer just about snitching. It's about whether Charleston has completely lost control of the message he once claimed to stand for. The fact that Charleston White took things to such extremes over being called a snitch by Gilly the Kid really says a lot about his mindset. For someone who proudly claims he has no friends and no shame in cooperating with the law, Charleston sure seems rattled when the label gets tossed back at him. His emotional outbursts and vicious responses reveal a deeper insecurity, perhaps even the realization that some truths sting harder when they're said publicly. As for 50 Cent, he's long established himself as hip-hop's most relentless provocateur. From Ja Rule to Diddy, and more recently Big Meech, 50 has always taken aim at those he believes are playing a false role in the culture. His attacks on Big Meech, calling him a rat, mocking his son, and airing out behind-the-scenes drama, have been relentless. But even with Charleston coming for him during an appearance on the Danza Project, labeling him a bully and dismissing his credibility, 50 didn't retaliate. Instead, 50 posted a cryptic video on Instagram to promote his new project, sidestepping Charleston altogether. For once, it seemed he wasn't interested in feeding the fire. Maybe Charleston lucked out this time, or maybe 50 has bigger fish to fry. Charleston, meanwhile, continues to walk the tightrope between community activism and online chaos. He speaks at youth events and promotes anti-gang messaging, but then turns around and mocks grieving parents, brags about calling the police, and fuels drama with every public figure who criticizes him. The contradiction has never been more obvious. He claims he's trying to change the culture, but critics argue he's doing more harm than good. The internet isn't quick to forgive or forget, especially when it comes to crossing sacred lines. And while Charleston insists he has no regrets, public opinion may soon say otherwise. Now, what do you think? Is Charleston White genuinely trying to help the community in his own extreme way? Or is he simply using controversy as a platform with no real concern for the consequences? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. There's always more to uncover, so check out the next video right here.